Hey everybody, welcome to the Georgia Lacrosse Officials Association new training video. In this video we're going to watch a game from last year, the first quarter of a game from last year. It's two-man mechanics, and the idea here is to give you a sense of what a game's like in real time with some commentary. That being said, we're not going to focus on everything. I'm really not going to talk about, for the most part, penalties. Uh, or necessarily penalty administration. That's something that you've really got to get into the rule book and get experience with. What I want to focus off here is face-off mechanics, positioning, counts, who the on and off official are, restarts, and dead ball officiating. Hopefully this is something that you really can control and improve on in your first couple of years of being an official. The rest really comes with experience. So hopefully you'll get something out of it, and let's begin. All right, so every game begins with a face-off, unless there's a pre-game penalty. But 99.9% of the time, you're going to begin with a face-off. The referee will take the first face-off of the game. He is the face-off official, indicated here with an F, and of course, you've got the wing official. Remember, you have a face-off guy for each team. Let's make sure they're facing the appropriate direction. Blue should be facing the white goalie and white should be facing the blue goalie. You will definitely screw that up at least once in your career. The wing players, one from each team, is behind the wing line. And of course, everybody else must be behind their defensive restraining line. Yes, you can be in the alley. You just have to be behind the defensive restraining line. Now, we'll watch the mechanics for what's going on, but remember, as an official, this is one of the few times in the game when you know exactly what's going to happen. So these should run really smoothly. You can get good very quickly at these mechanics if you follow our advice. So the referee points and lets the face-off players know where the ball is going to be placed, and the wing official backs out to the wing line, giving his ready signal. He's pointing the direction he's going to go. He is responsible for both of the wing players, and he's going to move back into position. We'll see it again here. The referee, after he is indicated, is just looking at the wing official to let him know that it's okay to conduct the face-off with the ready point. Getting those mechanics right goes a long way to really speeding up your face-offs. Places the ball down, blows the whistle, and when white picks it up, note both officials give the possession wind. That indicates that all players are allowed to go beyond their defensive restraining line. It's important to not be too good on that. We want to indicate that he's got possession, carrying, cradling, passing, shooting, before we sort of release all those other guys. Now, note, we've settled into position. The trail is up on the 35-yard line, right at the corner of the box. The lead's down on goal line extended. These are our standard positions for play. Here we've got an end line restart. White was closest to the ball on the shot when it went out of bounds. The lead official is working the restart, so he has hand up in the air to indicate that we are not ready for play yet, and the trail official does not have the restart, is indicating that he sees no reason that we can't restart this game, so he is pointing. If there was some incident in which case we couldn't start, he would have his hand up in the air. So take a look at your partner. It is a very important part of managing the flow and pace of the game. So let's take that restart mechanic all the way through. The ball goes out of bounds in this last incident because of a shot. The lead official, who has that end line, is going to put his hand up in the air and blow the whistle. We're indicating that the play is dead. The clock has stopped. We are not playing. We need to then point and indicate who's going to get the ball. In this case, it was very clear. White was the only one near the ball when it went out of bounds. And it's a shot, so they're awarded the ball. So we're going to point, and we're going to say, green ball. Then we're going to put our hand back up in the air. Again, we're letting everybody know we're not ready. I'm waiting for him to get a ball to step in bounds, that no offensive player was within 5 yards. He's got possession. Everybody is settled and going the right direction. And when we're ready, from the hand up in the air, we're going to do a backstroke and blow the play in. You will do this mechanic hundreds of times during a game. It is essential that you master it, and you do all of those things. All right, so here we've got a situation where white has touched it in the box, so they've ended the 10 count, and they're just allowed to run their offense. But in this case, we have an errant pass that goes up to the end line, or to the midline. Note the trail official gets back into position to make sure that white's not stepping over, blue doesn't push, blue doesn't step over, and more importantly, that white does not gain possession of the ball when he bats this back. You're not allowed to allow that ball to cross the midline unless it's a shot or last touch by the defense. In this case, the white player bats it back to his teammate and they settle back into play. Again, we've already had a touch. We've already gained the box so that they're just allowed to run their offense. So even though white has sort of driven a couple of times here and kind of lost some possession, they're not under a count. Here we've got a save, and so we're going to be transitioning the ball from one side to the other. Blue's bringing it up, and we are under a count. Note the lead official is counting, and when he steps in, we're going to put our hand up in the air and point. This is a pretty standard transition. Remember, the lead runs, the trail jogs. Here you see the trail on the 35 at the corner of the box. All right, so blue's going to move the ball. Note the lead is moving in and out as play allows. He's right on that GLE, and when we have, I think we've got a flag here, he's going to stop play. Note, the lead official goes in and gets the ball. He recognizes that we've got a flag. It's the other official, so he's going to take care of relaying that penalty. What the lead official is going to do is set the field. We're going to make sure everybody knows where the ball is. We've got the right number of players. Everybody knows where the restart's going to take place. He does that by raising the ball above his head. He's going to talk to the goalie on the restart. Goalie, ball's with me. And so we're never going to restart the game on a man-up, man-down situation without making sure everybody knows where the ball is and that we've got the right number of players. Here we've got a shot. The lead is literally steps away from the goal. He can take 3 steps in and really see that play, indicate whether or not there's any violations or a goal has been scored, or he can quickly move to the end line in the case of a shot. All right, so let's talk about those counts. We just had a transition play, and we know there are 3 counts in lacrosse. We have the 4 count for the goalie in the crease in possession of the ball, carrying, cradling, passing, shooting. We have the 20-second count that begins concurrently anytime the defense gains possession. So in the case of a 4 count, you would automatically have a 20 count going. You can have a 20 count and have somebody pass it to the goalie, in which case that would start a 4-second count that would run concurrently with the 20-second count. And then we've got our 10 count, right? So the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to have the twirl signal. This indicates to all officials that a change of possession has occurred. It's a really important signal to get down. Hand up in the air, 1 finger in the air, and you give the spin signal. That indicates that you have turned on your 20-second timer. It is mandatory that you have a 20-second timer. You cannot do this in your head. There's too much going on. There's too much you're looking at. So you're gonna twirl and then flip on your timer. If you have a 4-second count going, you would twirl, flip on your timer, and then give the 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi count for the 4-second count. Now that is a silent count, but I do want you to say in your head 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, because the first time you do this, your adrenaline is going to be running pretty high, and you're going to do what I like to call the Bruce Lee, which is instead of 4-second counts, it's going to be a 4-millisecond count. This is very similar to what basketball officials do for the 5-second count, right? So if you're a basketball official, you've done this a million times. Just make sure you're giving the goalie the amount of time that he is entitled to. If the goalie gets the ball out of the crease or steps out of the crease with the ball, you just drop your hand. There's no other signal, right? The count just simply ends. Now, the 20-second count is going to continue until the clearing team is able to get it over the midline. There is a change of possession, a timeout, or the ball goes out of bounds, or a foul. And so that count keeps running. If you realize that a team has cleared the ball, they've gotten it over, just turn your 20-second timer off. Remember, as a team brings it across the midline, if they are in possession of the ball, a 10-second count begins. So the ball can come over loose and you can have no count, or a player can carry the ball over, in which case a count will begin immediately as he steps onto his side of the field. That, like the 4 count, is a silent count with a visual signal. You swing the arm out and you go up to 10. If they gain the box, what you're going to do is you're going to indicate to everybody, and this is all officials. Both officials should mirror this signal. You put your hand up in the air and then you point to the box. You indicate that the 10-second count has ended, and you're also letting everybody know that over and back is now in play. So again, it is really important to communicate these things. And it's sometimes difficult for the lead official. The lead official is always going to have that 10 count coming down the field. And so the lead official may need help from his partner. He may not be able to see that a player has touched it in. So communication really key here. All right, so we've had a goal scored. We're going to bring the ball up. We're going to flip it underhand to your partner, who's going to come in and get it. We're going to jog up to our positions. No, this isn't baseball. Nobody walks, okay? Get into position. You want to get this happen. When the wing official gets to where he needs to be, he puts his hand up in the air, and he turns on his 20-second timer. He gives the timer on signal. Once he's ready to go, he's going to point, and that lets the face-off official know that he can begin on the face-off. Backs out, blows the whistle, right? We have our possession call. Everybody's going to wind it in, and both officials settle into position. Right? Remember, do that TV jog. Do that TV jog. So in this play, we're going to have a nice sequence of transition and a couple of changes of possession, which is why it's always important to know what count is going on. Right? So here we have a shot. Blue is closer to the line when and where this goes out of bounds, and we have a restart here. And so as soon as that whistle is blown in, we have a change of possession signal and a count going, over 20-second count going. The ball is loose. That count continues. Finally, we have white playing without the stick. Remember, he can't make any contact or interfere with the play in any way without a cross. We have a quick restart. We have a new 20-second count, and as blue brings it in, they quickly touch it in. Almost not time to give a visual count, and our lead official gives the gain to the box signal, right? And we're just playing lacrosse now, so we're going to swing it around. We're on the 35, right on GLE. Note the lead is doing a great job of getting into position and then sort of backing out when he sees the play coming towards him. You really want to be between the numbers and the hash marks in these situations. We get a nice shot, backed up. Remember, hand up in the air, point the direction, hand back up in the air until you're ready to go, and the lead is going to give the restart. Right? It's good as the trail official. Move a little bit. Don't kill grass. Right? You can kind of see what the teams are trying to do. They're trying to move the defense around. They're trying to get a matchup, swing it to the weak side. It's very much like basketball. Fun fact: Mr. Naismith, who invented basketball, was a lacrosse player. So it's not like basketball looks like lacrosse. It's more that, or it's not like lacrosse looks like basketball. Basketball looks like lacrosse. All right, so here we got another goal. We're going to do our flip. We're jogging into position. Right, hand up in the air. We're going to make sure all those guys have substituted off the field. Wing players are in their position. And as soon as we're ready, we get that ready point and the faceoff official begins. Right? Let's make sure the whistle is in your mouth when you put the ball down. Back out, blow the play in. Right? Right. Now, the ball here has crossed as a loose ball in over the defensive restraining line. In that case, that has ended the face-off. So officials are going to give the play signal. All players are now released from from being behind the defensive restraining line. All right, here we got an ISO play from up top. We have a slide coming, and White's trying to recover. Right. Great job by the lead official to get right in there, and watch him. He's running to the end line. We're making sure that we are right there to see if there is any contested play and who's going to be closest and who's going to get awarded that ball. And then you come right back up into position. Right, anticipate where the ball is going. When teams can sort of catch and throw, it makes it a little easier as an official to kind of see what's happening. You can see them set up in their formations. All right, here we got a clear, so we have a 4-second and a 20-second count. 4 seconds over. White has ended the 20-second count. You've got the lead official has initiated the 10-second count, and here we come down on the fast break. Right, which sort of fizzles out. We take the ball behind at X. Lead official is right. He's coming down a little bit to give himself a better angle to see this play. Lead trail official comes into position. Remember, it's a one-man game until the trail is in position. All right. Lead's going to widen out because he sees the play coming towards him. He wants to get out of the passing lane, not just where the players are running. Now, loose ball in front of the crease, things can get ugly pretty quickly. Don't watch the ball, watch those players, and particularly you want to watch the backs of players. You want to see those pushes, you want to see those holds. That's really where we make our money. The slashes and the big hits are pretty easy to find. All right, so there we had a push from behind. Blue had picked it up, was beginning a clear. We had a 20-second count going, and then they were pushed. Actually, it was a loose ball, but we have a push, and then we're going to start with a 20-second count here. Here we go. We pass it over. White intercepts it. We have a 20-second count. That 20-second count is over, but he was over with possession, so we've started a 10-second count. And as soon as he steps it in, our hands are going to go up, and we're going to indicate that that count has ended. Right, so again, this can happen over and over. Let's talk about on and off ball officials. So the lead official right now is the on, and then it's kind of getting in between, right? It might be the lead, it might be the trail. If you can see the front of the player, assume that you are the on ball official if you're not sure who that official might be. All right, so the trail's the on official here. And then we're kind of in this gray zone. We've got a change of possession. The new lead gives a great twirl, indicating that we have a 20-second count going, right? And that is the 20-second count is by the trail official. So you're signaling to your partner that a change of possession has happened. We're carrying it over. Now we've got a 10-second count going, and blue throws it away. Now, blue throws it away, but as soon as it hits the ground, it ends the 10-second count. So if his teammate can secure that ball, we've at least ended the 10-second count. Okay. I think it was tipped, and so we awarded it to white, or off white, so we awarded it to blue here. All right, same deal. We're setting up from behind. Lead official is as close as the play will allow. All right, so this is a deep restart. That is the sideline of the trail official. However, he needs to get up to the cone because he's the new lead. And so he is just going to help his partner by signaling when that player from the sideline steps in bounds no offensive player is within 5 yards of him, and we have a legal restart, right? And then he's going to point, and as soon as he points, the trail official, who really has no place to go, he's going to blow it in. Here we have a timeout between teams, and we are going to do a stick check, right? So you grab a stick from the bench that you are in front of. So the official from the far sideline came in and grabbed a blue. The lead official grabbed a white. So we've got a long pole and a short pole. Right. Now, note, this is where these guys are. They have not started the equipment check until all players are off onto their own sort of areas. You really want to focus on mixed colors when you're dead ball officiating. This is when stupid stuff can happen. So we really want to make sure that we let the mixed colors get into their huddles, and then we're going to do whatever it is we're going to do, whether it's write on our scorecard or measure sticks. Now, note, these measurements do not take very long. So you're going to do the rollout test, and you can do the pocket test and do your measurements really within under a minute. This just takes practice. So get a stick, borrow your kid's stick, and get your tape measure out, and just keep practicing that mechanic. When you're done, we're going to bring the sticks out and either hand it to them or lay them on the ground. Do not throw the stick at anyone. You don't want it to be misinterpreted in a bad way if that kid's not paying or the coach isn't paying attention, right? Treat those sticks with respect. The kids spend a lot of time working on the pocket and making sure that it's doing what it needs for them. We need to show it the respect that it deserves. Right, we're going to bring the teams back out. And we're going to get things going here, right? We're going to bring it back to where it was when it was in play. We're going to remind coaches how many timeouts they have left, and really get this thing started. All right, now we're back to live time, and we can see we're quickly doing the rollout tests. If your partner's doing the rollout test, do your measurements. If your partner's doing the measurements, do the rollout test. It's important to make sure that you've got a stick from each side. You do not want to measure two sticks of the same color. If you do, my advice to you is to go grab two of the other sticks and just get all your stick checks over with, right? Here you can talk about how many timeouts people have, what the situation in the game is there short time and it's tied and somebody's likely to go to the goal? Are they going to potentially take a last second shot? And we have to remember the rules about goals after the horn has sounded. You can ask what you saw on a previous call. Why didn't you call that a slash? Was that not a hold? Or what coaches have been saying to you, what you've heard from players, right? This is one of the few times you really need to check in with your partner, and you can do so without everybody listening to you. All right, we're going to let everybody know that their timeout is over with 20 seconds to go. You indicate that by saying timer on and actually flipping on your timer. We're going to get everybody into position, and we're going to restart the play where the ball was when the timeout was called. The timeout resets any count, so we have a new 20-second count when we blow it in. You can see the official turn on his timer. Right? Note the trail is not getting ahead of the ball because things can change pretty quickly. The ball's loose. We're back in our area, and now I believe blue is going to pick it up. We have a new count, 10 seconds. Now he steps it in. That 10-second count is over. Again, these things can happen really quickly. Okay, so it's important to understand what's going on. We've got substitution going on. This is an odd place in two-man mechanics because we've got nobody by the box watching any of this. Here we've got a shot. And note the official, he gets back to the end line to see what's going on. You can see the ISO developing. They're running people off. He's given himself a nice head start. We've seen this play a couple of times already in this quarter. The better you get at understanding what the offense is trying to do, to recognize, who the shooters are, who the the folks that are comfortable carrying the ball are, where the slides are coming from on defense, the better official you're going to be, because you'll be able to anticipate likely outcomes and put yourself in the best position to make the call. We got a shot, hand up, we point direction, and then that hand is going to go back up in the air, indicating that we are waiting for the restart. He has put himself in position to manage that restart. We get the wind, and we come in. We don't have a new count because we have not had a change of possession. Blue can sort of do what they want to do. All right, we're feeding it in front of the crease. Got a change of possession, the 4-second count and the 20-second count. White is going to bring it up here. The 20-second count has ended, and we still have the 10-second count, which is now ended. And we've got a loose ball push, so we are going to award the ball to White. All right, quick restart. All right, so here we are moving it around. We're going to get it to X. All right, lead official's backing out of the way. And we have a goal. Trail official is watching that shooter, right? Trail watches the shooter, trail watches the shooter, trail watches the shooter. Nobody else is going to see that hit. Now, there was nothing illegal about it, and so we don't really have a problem. We're just going to continue the face-off, but that trail official has to train himself to just zero in on the shooter on that play. Your instinct is going to want to tell you not to, and we've got a point here, so we're running the face-off. All right, we got a hand up in the air. So right here, we had a play on for a loose ball push or hold, and we're going to do a quick restart. This is an important one to pay attention to. Right, this is a pre-whistle violation, so we're going to blow it back in. Probably could have been close to a delay a game there. I'm not sure Blue gave him 5 yards, but in this case, it's a no call. And we are playing lacrosse. Right, Trail's in that same spot, 35-yard line, right at the corner of the box. And you've got the lead on GLE, and he'll go below GLE if you have contested play. We got an end line restart here, so he's managing the restart. We're going to come up from behind. We got a shot to the wing. That is the sideline of the lead official, and so he's going to have that restart. We got a quick restart, 20-second count starts. Now we've got a 10-second count going and a last second shot, and the period is over. So again, here's a great dead ball situation. Note the trail official is right in between mixed colors. That's what he's zeroed in on. He's looking in between as those players cross to go to their huddles for the 2-minute intermission. And then once the field is crossed, we're going to have a conversation with our partner. We're going to double check the score. We're going to make sure that we understand who's got timeouts, what we saw, what we didn't see, what we called, what we didn't call, what we've heard from coaches, generally the sidelines, any tips we have for each other. This is a great time to compare notes and sort of, hey, do we need to tighten this game up? Do we need to continue to let them play until they ask us to step in for them? What kind of offense are we running? What kind of defense are we running? Who are your troublemakers? Have you heard any talking between teams? The answer to all those questions may be that you don't have any and no. But it is important to reassess and really make sure that you are officiating the game that is in front of you and you're not making assumptions about anything. All right, so right, we've got our timer going because we want to make sure that at 2 minutes we are going to start this contest, and we're going to let those coaches know. It's always a good time to remind coaches how many timeouts they've got, all of those things. So we're going to blow these players out, and we are going to start the half with or the second quarter with a face-off, right? So the quarter ended. Nobody was entitled to possession. There was no flag down. There was no uneven situation. So we are going to start the second quarter with a face-off. And here you can see the wing official is letting everybody know that they've got 20 seconds. He indicated by pumping his arm that the timer is now on, and you can see everybody's jogging into position. As soon as everybody is where they need to be, he is going to point, and we start the face-off. Hey everybody, thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful to you, particularly if you're a new official or if you are a trainer. Feel free to use this to share it with your guys. Check out all the other things we have at on the GLOALaxRef.com website under our resources and training pages. You can also check out GLOA YouTube channel where all of these are posted, as well as presentations of all of our two-man mechanics and many of our three-man mechanics. If you have any comments or suggestions or criticisms of this, please let me know. I'm more than happy to take any feedback you guys have for me. You can email me at atl.lacrosseref@gmail.com. I'm Greg Hite, lead trainer for the Georgia Lacrosse Officials Association. Thanks for watching.